Spoiler alert, this intro is gonna be one for the books.
现在我有冰淇淋，我很喜欢冰淇淋，但是速度与激情中比冰淇淋。
That's right, guys. Today, we're putting a spoiler on this bad boy. And it's not gonna be painted, just like the front lip. So, I think it's time to unbox this bitch. Unboxing time. I have a large package, apostrophe OE knife. Also, in case you haven't noticed, Noah's not here. We had this date scheduled for at least 3 days, and he turns out he had something else to do. So, a little bit upset. Comes in 3 pieces. One, this is one of the sides. Nice. The holes on the bottom of the wing are threaded. I don't know if you guys can see that, but these holes have threads in them. There's holes on the top too. Those connect to the top portion of the wing. What do you know? I wonder if they included hardware. That would be so cool. They did. Let's go, dude. So, they give you the option to just stick the spoiler to your car, but I think this also might act as a seal, but it is adhesive on both sides. I'm gonna bolt it into the trunk, but hey, this will seal it, which is nice. This is a Mugen knockoff, which is illegal in every country except China. They do have stickers, and because I'm shameless, I will absolutely be putting them on the car. The important part, the downforce. These holes are threaded as well. So we're gonna start off by bolting these to this so I can actually get my measurements for the trunk and figure out where I kind of want to get it. That thing is super light too, by the way. It's just hollow plastic, I want to say. These line up excellent. They have these little notches on either side of the plate that the bolts go through, and those match up to notches in the wing. They're just Phillips screws. The shorter ones that come with the kit go through here. Do not use power tools when you do this. You will break something, shatter something, make it so it don't work. But these things don't need to be crazy tight. You can rip the, essentially, riv nuts out of the top portion of the wing. But that's one side on. That's pretty firm. I like that. Interesting note, on this side, there's a bit of plastic right here, extra plastic, that I will need to trim off because it's not allowing this to sit right. These seams. Yeah, look at that. See those seams? That's gonna get in the way. Get you a small pair of wire clippers. Small clips. Yes, a small pair of wire clippers is probably the best option for this because they can get closer to the seam. Hey, it fits perfectly. Excellent. I'm gonna hold up those little adhesive seals. I'm gonna figure out if they are perfect for the alignment of these holes because I can use those to mark where I need to drill holes in my trunk, which is excellent. So I got her all lined up, and now we're gonna take these white sticky pads, and they got 3 perforated holes in them. Then you take these, and they stick on like this. Appear to fit fairly well. Okay, so it looks like, for this pad at least, the bolt hole is gonna be on the inside of this hole, but the back 2 are fine. So if I just remember to mark my hole on the outside of this one, we should be good. I think I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm gonna cut off a small portion of each side, just the backing, and stick it to the spoiler. I only want a small portion because I'm gonna take the other side completely off and I want it to stick to the trunk where I need it to be. And then ideally when we lift the spoiler up, because we left most of the backing on the side stuck to the spoiler, these pads will be left where we need them to be. That is my plan. We will see if it works. I'm gonna do one side first. So the spoiler has some flex in it, so if I need to make mini adjustments, I can. So we're gonna try and pull this side off. A little bit of help from my fingers. It is in fact sticking down. We now have 2 things mocked up where they need to be. So this is just the angle the spoiler sits at. It's kind of goofy, but this flare makes up for it. So there's that. For now, as long as I remember that I need these holes to be closer to the outside, I can drill my holes. When drilling holes, for something that needs to be adhered to the outside of the car. I generally like to find something that is the exact same diameter, if not a little smaller than the bolts that are going to be going through them. Here you see my screw and my drill bit. Pretty dang close to the same size. The other good reason to do that is that if you drill it too big, you can't shrink the hole. If you drill it too small, you can always drill it bigger. Last thing to do before you drill a dang hole, check what's underneath. These two are going to be right on this lump. This one will be fine, right about there. This just unscrews. If you guys are going to do this, get yourselves a center punch. You push on it, and then it spring loads and then shoots this little tip out fast enough to make a tiny little ding in whatever you're going to drill in. What that allows it to do is your drill bit won't walk when you're trying to initially drill through the thing. I'm going to use this, and that will also mark where my holes are going to be. Here I go, drilling holes in my trunk. Here's one hole. That's good. The other two are up in there. I'm going to have to finish drilling through these, because if I don't, I will never get hardware on them. These holes look a little bit smaller than I anticipated. They definitely are. So that won't even fit through. I'm gonna go up 1 bit size. Okay, I started my holes with a 3/16. I am ending on a 15/64 bit. If you guys want to start with that one, if you do this install, you can. But it doesn't give you much room for error. Yes, our bolt slides through just perfectly. Now is the time to peel off the rest of the backing on the top. And now I will stick my spoiler on. And if my measurements were correct, which they probably were, very carefully go up. Our hole here is pretty close. I could have stuck it on wrong. That is possible. Didn't want that to happen. There it is. We get 1 bolt started on each side. 2 bolts kind of on. I'm not going to tighten them all the way because I want to try and find a way to get the top ones to work. Check this out. Because I continue drilling my holes even though it doesn't look great, but I can get a screwdriver through here. And because I actually broke this one, I can bend it out of the way. On this side, my hole was a little cleaner, but I should still be able to, with an angled pair of pliers, get the bolt up in there and get it threaded. I'm going to start by getting a bolt through this inner hole, seeing where it pops out here, and then lining it up with the hole on the back of the spoiler. All right, guys, that's how that went. I dropped 2 of the screws in here. 2 of the screws are now hanging out down here. And I can't get to them, not even through that hole with a magnet. So they're gonna stay in there. And that finalized my decision that there's no way I'm doing the outer holes. So if you do this, you're not gonna be able to fit the outer holes, don't even drill them. It's just extra damage. These ones, maybe with a special tool you could get up in there. The screwdriver doesn't work after a while. It gets too hard to turn because you're cutting through the plastic on the bottom of this. The nuts are not deep enough. So you're gonna end up needing to use a 10mm socket. I grabbed the smallest one I had, a 1/4 inch, deep well 10 mil, and I still had to bend all this metal back with a pair of clippers. And that one was fine on both sides. That was great. But these guys, you're gonna have to take out the little bushings. Yeah, that's how that's gonna look. I'm gonna see if I can come up with a way to make that less dangerous and less ugly. All right, what I ended up doing is just beating them with the hammer a little bit, get most of the sharp bits out of the way, and make it so the trunk can close safely. Does not look good, but there's no other way to do it, because even if you got long enough hardware, these bumps are way too rounded. It would never sit right, and it would probably end up bending them in anyways, and it wouldn't secure your spoiler right. I'm convinced that this is my best option to do this. Maybe not yours. Maybe you can figure out a better way. If you do, let me know in the comments. That would be sweet. But trunk closes. Still has 2 bump stops here. So these 2 missing I don't think will be too much of an issue. Closes just fine. And finally, for the pièce de résistance, the Mugen stickers. Boom. Look at that. closing thoughts on the spoiler. For the price, which is very cheap, product, awesome. A little bit of clipping involved, just some excess plastic that was not perfect from the mold, but the install sucks. It's annoying. You destroy those 2 spots in your bumper. And like, if you want to resell the car, this goes for pretty much any spoiler. If they don't want the spoiler and they take it off, they can't patch those holes without a new trunk. So you're permanently lowering the value of your car, technically. But I think it looks cool. I think it wasn't that bad of an installation. And I think the product is great. So overall, I would recommend it if you don't mind fucking up your trunk and having to cut some shit. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.